In July of 1909, a large passenger ship vanished in the Indian Ocean. More than 200 people were on board. Not a single distress signal was sent. No wreckage was ever confirmed. The ship was called the Waratah. The Waratah was not a small vessel. She was a modern passenger and cargo ship, built to carry travelers between Europe and Australia. First-class cabins, dining rooms, promenades. She was designed for comfort as well as long-distance travel. On July 26, 1909, the Waratah departed Durban, South Africa. Her next destination was Cape Town. There were 211 passengers and crew on board. Many were families. Some were business travelers. Others were returning home after long journeys abroad. For most of the people aboard, this was supposed to be an ordinary leg of a long voyage. No one recorded fear. No warnings were issued. Nothing suggested danger. The route followed the southern African coastline. It was a familiar passage for commercial shipping. Storms were possible, but not unusual, and the Waratah was considered capable of handling heavy seas. One concern had followed the ship since her first voyages. Several passengers had previously reported that the Waratah felt unstable, that she rolled more heavily than expected, that she leaned slowly after large waves. One traveler, who disembarked earlier, would later say he refused to remain aboard. He believed the ship had a dangerous tendency to list. At the time, the concern was dismissed. After leaving Durban, the Waratah encountered worsening weather, strong winds, high seas, poor visibility. But this alone was not unusual for the region. On the evening of July 27th, another vessel reported seeing a ship matching the Waratah's description. The sighting was brief. The weather was poor. The distance was great. It may have been the last time the Waratah was ever seen. After that, communication stopped. The Waratah never arrived in Cape Town. No wireless message was received. No distress call was detected. No emergency signal was sent. When the ship failed to arrive, concern quickly turned into alarm. Search operations were launched. Ships were sent along the expected route. Aircraft scanned the coastline. Lookouts searched for debris. Nothing was found. No lifeboats. No cargo. No personal belongings. Not a single confirmed fragment of the ship. A formal investigation was opened. The ship's design was reviewed. Engineers examined stability reports. Passenger accounts from earlier voyages were collected. One theory suggested that the Waratah may have been top-heavy, that her cargo distribution may have reduced her stability, that a sudden roll, combined with a powerful wave, could have capsized the vessel. Another theory proposed that a massive rogue wave may have struck the ship, a single steep wall of water, large enough to overwhelm even a modern vessel. If such a wave struck without warning, there would have been no time to send a distress call. The ship would have disappeared in moments. Some investigators also considered mechanical failure, a sudden loss of steering, engine malfunction, or internal flooding. But without wreckage, none of these possibilities could be confirmed. Search efforts continued for weeks, then months, then quietly ended. The ocean yielded nothing. Years later, additional expeditions attempted to locate the wreck. Underwater surveys, sonar scans, careful examination of seabed features. Several objects were detected, but none were conclusively identified as the Waratah. To this day, no verified wreck site exists. For the families of the missing, there was no closure, no graves, no recovered remains, only absence. 211 people vanished with the ship. Their final moments remain unrecorded. The Waratah left port in clear daylight. She sailed into ordinary weather and then disappeared completely. The sea did not return an answer. This was the last expedition.